Hi friends, welcome to the Pathloom YouTube channel. In this adventure, we're headed out to Southern California towards Death Valley and Alabama Hills on a 4-day, 3-night car camping adventure, and we drove down starting from the Bay Area, going down first to Alabama Hills. Alabama Hills is a Bureau of Land Management area which is located about 45 miles to 60 miles from Death Valley National Park, or the entrance of Death Valley itself. So on the first day, we actually had a pretty late start towards the mid-afternoon, and we drove out to Alabama Hills. We reached there at nighttime, pulling in way past after sunset, but once we got in, we were able to find a spot relatively quickly, and we set up right by these rocks, and there was even a small cave formation right around our campsite. The next morning, we started our day fairly early. We essentially walked around the campsite, had some easy breakfast, and started packing up our camp. Once we packed up camp, we actually made an impromptu decision to spend another night in Alabama Hills because we wanted to explore more of it. We started our day off by driving to the next campsite, which took about an hour and a half just off-roading through various places that we hadn't explored before. Alabama Hills offers spectacular scenery and off-roading adventures, and also a lot of daytime hiking and exploring because of the cool rock formations. As we drove around, we ended up at the end of this one dirt road, and we called it home for the night. We knew this was the spot that we wanted to stay at. We walked around exploring for wind conditions and where to set up our tent and what would be the safest spot where we get the most shelter from the wind conditions because it was fairly windy. But once we found those two spots for both our tents, we started setting up our campsite and made home for the night. Mount Whitney is the tallest mountain in the contiguous United States. After we set up our camp, we just relaxed at the campsite, started making some food, enjoyed the lovely sunset, which was spectacular over Mount Whitney. We had absolutely clear skies. And after sunset, we really got ready for the evening fire, which we all look forward to. The next day, we started off our day fairly early again, and we headed out for Death Valley National Park. We drove about an hour and a half to 2 hours, making our way off the dirt roads into the highways that go to Death Valley itself. Death Valley National Park is located in Southern California near the Mojave Desert. It is the largest national park in the contiguous United States. And as we pulled into Death Valley, the very first stop that we took was exploring Joshua trees because we were so excited to see Joshua trees as we drove by it. As we headed out from exploring the Joshua tree, we made our way to our campsite again for the night. We off-roaded a bit and made our way into Echo Canyon, which is near Zabriskie Point, a very popular spot for sunrise and sunsets. And we found our ideal campsite for the night. This is a spot that I personally have camped at maybe 6 times plus, just because I love this spot so much and how open it is and how much wind protection you get in a very windy environment otherwise. We had a big lunch, cooking up some good food, and after that we really again just called it settling in for the evening and enjoyed the sunset and called it an early night, as there's no campfires allowed in the backcountry of Death Valley. The next morning, we enjoyed an early sunrise and we packed up camp and headed off, making our way back towards the Bay Area. As we made our way back towards the Bay Area, we did stop at a few spots to catch in some sights. The first spot that we stopped at was near Mustard Canyon, where we enjoyed the old structures that remained there. As we headed out of Mustard Canyon, the next stop for us was the Sand Dunes, which is our amazing spot. It's a must-stop spot as you're driving to Death Valley, and ideally you want to get here before 11 a.m. because of how hot it gets at the dunes. We hiked around in the dunes about 1.5 miles to 2 miles one way, and as we made our way back to the car, we headed off towards the charcoal and kilns, our last stop before we made our final drive back to the Bay Area. The drive to the charcoal and kilns is one of my favorite drives through Death Valley National Park because it goes through one of the more remote areas in Death Valley where not too many people traverse. It goes through towards Wild Rose Canyon and eventually towards Mahogany Flats, but the road to Mahogany Flats was closed due to snow conditions at the time. We made our final drive back to the Bay Area, which was roughly about a 7-hour drive. It was nice, smooth sailing on the highway, and as we got back, that was the end of our adventure. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. We really hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned with Pathloom for more exciting updates, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more adventures to come.